Hello, friends. Hope you don't mind. I'm going to have a cigarette. I'm going to sit here and I'm actually going to read my response. And the reason why, I'll tell you. I'm detailed grandma, or to some I'm just grandma. To some I am Ma, and to others I am just Kris. I wasn't going to make a video like this year. Typically I make a video and I tell people how my year went and what I look forward to in 2026, and then I move on about my day and hope for the best. Well, this year has not been the best, and so I really wasn't going to bother with it. But then I received an email Saturday. I received this email asking if I had a Christmas message for young people, old people, hurting people, alone people, scared people, and troubled people. And that's a big ask, because that's a great big group of people. Obviously, I know all types of people like that, but I mean, in a way, when you think about it, with all those types of people, the message should be something different for each one of them, right? For each group. I just spent the last 6 hours hanging out with some ladies on the internet, and we even went live for a while, and I tackled a project I didn't ever think I would tackle again. But I did. And it was my time with them. I got to thinking about stuff. I knew this Christmas message was hanging out there in the open. Do I do it? Do I not do it? I even told them I just don't know if I can do it because I'm not Christmassy anymore. So after I got done with that, I was actually going to go to bed. But then it kept weighing on me. And I said, screw it. We're going to give a Christmas message. And as I began typing this out, because I typed it right here on this other phone, it started making sense that there's only 3 things that really can go to all of those groups. So, I'm going to read my message. I might flub up what I read or something, so I'll edit that out. But I want to read my message. If I read it, I shouldn't screw it up as bad. But if I sat here and freeform it, I'm going to be here for an hour. Because I know me. I love to talk. I was given the gift of gab. The funny thing is I was given the gift of gab, but I don't like people. I don't like being around people. So my gabbing ended up on social media. Anyway, let's get into my Christmas message. As the holiday season wraps around us like a blanket, sometimes it's going to be warm, sometimes it'll be heavy. I find myself reflecting on what Christmas really means, especially when life has rewritten the script for how we celebrate it. For many years now, I've stepped back from the lights and the trees and the traditions, all of the celebrations. And there's a reason for that. In 2009, after losing my husband on my 38th birthday, the joy felt really dim with Christmas. His birthday was December 10th. He died on August 28th, so You know, we were coming up on the end of that year, that joyful time of year, you know. I was heartbroken and devastated. And I just had no joy for Christmas. I got my joy back a little bit after the first Christmas. But that was because of my daughter. I still had a young daughter at home that I was raising. And in 2012, because he passed away in 2009, in 2012, my 14-year-old daughter, Becca, the only one I had left at home, she was diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian cancer. And 93 days later, she died on December 12th. 13 days before Christmas. It felt like the season itself had been stolen away. Grief has a way of reshaping everything. Everything. I wanted nothing to do with Christmas. The celebration, I lost everything that felt good about the holiday, literally, when she died. And any celebration that I had felt like I was betraying her. Grief doesn't erase the love that we've known, but it does change how we carry forward. For me, carrying forward, there was no going forward. Just a 2-hour get-together with my family. I was trying so hard to celebrate. And I was mentally exhausted because it was too heavy. I couldn't celebrate. I was betraying my daughter. I was betraying my husband. They couldn't be here to celebrate. Why should I? That comes from being a mother. You make sacrifices as a mother, and that was my sacrifice. I didn't want to celebrate. Let the celebration go. 3 years after my daughter died, I was living here in this house. I had taken this house because of the memories of my husband and my daughter in this house. This house was my mother's for 20 years. I took this house, I moved it into this spot. Okay, so I was living pretty comfy. I had a pretty peaceful life. There was a house next door, and a lady, 83 years old, moved in. She was related to the neighbor, the very first neighbor that introduced himself to me in this neighborhood, by the way, back in 2014. And it was his mother. And her name, of all things, was Grace. See, at the time I met Grace, I was mad at the world. I wanted nothing to do with the world. I was running a nonprofit organization, mad at God, didn't want anything to do with God, even though I still had faith in Him. Pick that apart. And one day we were out front. Grace was always out in the yard working. She always had a smile on her face. Hi, how are you, young lady? It was just the best. So one day she asked me if I wanted to come sit at the patio, on the patio with her. I said, sure, why not? I wasn't doing anything. And so we sat on at her patio table, which we have a fence in between, a 6-foot privacy fence in between the two houses. So I sat there. And she, out of nowhere, told me the story of her son passing away. 35 years old. He had an illness. That's all she said. I never asked. I didn't even ask my other neighbor what the brother passed away from. Didn't ask. And she said, I've been devastated ever since. She said that was 30 years ago. And I told her, I said, I don't know how much further I can go on. I don't know that I can do life without my girl. I don't have a purpose anymore. My purpose was be a mom, work your job, go to work, do your thing, pay your bills, all that. But the bigger purpose was be a mom and raise them to be productive citizens, But that was taken away. And I told her, I don't know if I can do life without my daughter. I said, well, how do you make it through? She said, I didn't make it through until I accepted the fact that this wasn't a gift from God. It was a gift from the devil. And I was blaming God. So imagine how I felt hearing her say that, knowing I was totally in the heat of blaming God. Blaming God because I'm a 38-year-old widow. Blaming God because my daughter didn't survive cancer, but everybody else's kids did. What did I do? I was being punished. The biggest pity party you'd ever imagine. So my first message for Christmas. To the young people and those of you who just need some wisdom. The ones who ask me for wisdom in my streams, those types. Build your confidence. When you get into that big real world, when you get into it, I'm telling you, you need your confidence. You've got to be able to walk around chest held high, your head held high, and you have to be confident. Confidence is going to take you a long way. Embrace the joys of life and the pain and the losses. Remember that adulthood isn't about avoiding your losses and the pain or even the wins when you have them. I don't want the attention. Turn the pain, the losses, and the wins and the joy into strength. And that's the next message, strength. Have the strength this Christmas. This is the message for anybody who just needs it in those groups. Give yourself permission to feel every emotion that you're feeling. If you do not give yourself permission to feel them, you're going to trap them. And when we live our lives with the pain and all of the bad things trapped, it only gets bigger. Don't allow that to get big. Don't stay stuck. Feel it. Embrace it. Learn from it. Gain your strength, which will give you more confidence. Your life, for lack of better terms, your life needs to be detailed almost constantly. If you stay stuck, you're not detailing your life. I'm a detailer. In the big world, in the real world, we really do need to detail our lives. We need to keep it clean, so to speak. Not perfect, but we need to keep that madness clean. We need to free our minds from the things that have bound us. I was not 40s, late 40s before I learned that lesson. So detail your life. Don't allow those things to be trapped. Feel them. Give yourself the strength from them, and that will boost your confidence in yourself. Resilience is the other message. And this is for anybody. Anybody. Resilience is the quiet engine that turns pain into strength. The strength into the kind of confidence that doesn't crumble when life hits you so hard. The loss of my daughter, that you don't know what to do. Give yourself some time. You don't want to put the tree up? That's okay. Feel that pain. Embrace that pain. And know that resilience is your resilience is going to help you stand back up. It helps you give you your strength, which gives you more confidence. Resilience is understanding that when you get a scratch, whether it's shallow scratch and heals within a day, or a deep scratch, you may heal from the little scratch, but it's the deep scratch that you focus on because it hurts more. Embrace it, feel it, embrace it, learn from it, and pull in the strength that you gain from that by not trapping it, so that you can become more confident out there in the world. And that's the message. But above all, Christmas became something that was very bleak for me years ago when that young girl that died in 2012 was born. It was my first time working in retail, and I saw the pure evil in regular people, mostly women. And it was that job that told me I don't want very many women anywhere near me. And I still to this day keep my circle small. Women were the most evil, disgusting, hateful people during the Christmas season those 2 years. And not much changed. Not much changed as the time went on. From 1998 up until that time, you saw it on the news every Black Friday. And then it got violent, and those women made the rest of us look really, really bad by behaving physically and violently during Black Friday shopping. It was disgusting. And I knew at that point, way back when, that's not what Christmas is about. And that's why I brought my kids up to believe Christmas is about the celebration of Jesus Christ. Number one, don't come at me in the comments section saying that Jesus wasn't even born in December. No shit, Sherlock. When the birth of Jesus and the death and resurrection of Jesus fall right close together, the world, knowing that Jesus is important to us, we change it so that we can celebrate both. separately and holy. Now that I got that out of the way, I raised my kids to understand Christmas was about the celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ. And if you got one present under the tree, that was a blessing. The presents are supposed to represent the gifts that the 3 wise men brought. They brought one gift. The Bible says they came bearing a gift. A gift. Why does your child need 50 gifts and you need to snag it out of somebody's cart to make that happen? Nowhere. My children understood if there was one gift under that tree, that was the blessing as far as gifts were concerned. But the bigger blessing was know Jesus. To know Jesus. He was the reason. I can't tell you how many times I told this story and somebody said, well, that's not very Christ-like to talk about women like that. And I have admittedly responded in a much, probably more nasty way. And you're not a believer in Christ, so maybe you shouldn't even be celebrating Christmas in the first place. And let's include Easter too. Okay. Now that I got that out of the way, Jesus is the reason for the season. If you're not a believer, you can stop here. Jesus will help you gain your confidence. Jesus helps you, give you your strength when you allow Him to. Grace helped me to realize that. Jesus couldn't give me any strength as long as I was blaming Him for what happened to my daughter. And Jesus is the one who's going to give you the strength so you can be resilient. You need resilience to build your strength, to build your confidence. It's in the Bible. You need these 3 things in order to tackle that big world. Whether you didn't get the job, which I've been struggling with, but I'm making it. I'm getting weak some days, but I'm still going. Whether you didn't get the job or you don't feel like getting up, you don't want to get out of bed, and you sure the hell don't want to make that coffee. Jesus will help you get out of bed, make your bed, make that pot of coffee, sit down, say your prayers for strength through that day. If you can't make it through the day or you can't look that far forward because of your pain, ask Him for strength for the next hour. Allow Jesus to give you everything you need to accomplish those goals. He'll be there. He'll speak to you, and you'll know it. It took me a long time to realize that. It took me a long time to learn those lessons. Nowadays, I go to the family celebrations, but I go with a different frame of mind. I go with the frame of mind that I also am entitled to joy with my other kids. I don't know how many more Christmases I will have with my mom. So go with the thought that you're finding joy in spending time with them. The Lord knows I may not be celebrating the season, but that's because I feel like it's a betrayal when I do. So I don't go with the thought I'm going to celebrate Christmas. I go with the thought that I need to be with Mom because it might be her last. And I want to be with my kids because it could be my last. So there's your Christmas message. Confidence, strength, resilience, and most of all, Jesus Christ. Eric, you and all of my viewers, thank you for always being here. To the ladies that I hung out with tonight for 6 hours that helped me kind of put everything in perspective, thank you. And to everybody who's blaming God for the gifts that the devil gave you, I hope now you can let that go and start living. Because if you're on the side of grief, like I have, it'll never go away. It was my child. Maybe that'll help you get through it a little bit better. I hope it does. And one last thank you. I met Grace when she was 83. She passed away a year later at 84. She came into my life for a reason. It was to teach me that I was blaming God for a gift that the devil gave. The devil came into my life to kill and destroy. He got 3 years. He didn't get any more. Thank you, Grace. And by the way, Eric, that wrote me the email, he mentioned one person in his email. Only one name. And this is a viewer that is new. She kind of drifted in. And I've noticed that a lot of the people that have been drifting into my live streams lately, we are finding out that they are either widows or angel moms. So know something. That is Jesus sending you my way. Ursula, Jesus sent you my way. Don't know why yet, but I'm glad you're here. Eric noticed you, and I do too. I love you all. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. And we'll see you again in the next video, whenever that might be. Anyway.